Hi, I'm Michael Sinoff, founder and CEO of HardToFindSeminars.com. For the last 5 years, I've interviewed the world's best business and marketing minds. Now my challenge is to build the world's largest free resource for online, downloadable audio business interviews. I've learned a lot in the last 5 years, and today I'm going to show you the skills you need to survive.
That book caused me to be transformed as a copywriter.
This is a wonderful conversation I had with Joe Vitale, looking for hard-to-find classic marketing books and old reference books of great ads and classic material on advertising, marketing, and how to write sales copy is a passion of mine. Joe Vitale has the largest marketing library in the world with over 5,000 books. Listen in as we talk about his experiences as a professional copywriter and marketer. In this conversation, he's going to give you some wonderful ideas and some wonderful reference of some of the real classics. I hope you enjoy this.
Hello, this is Joe.
Joe, it's Mike Sinoff in San Diego.
Mike, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing great on this Friday.
Can't believe it's already Friday again, huh?
Yeah, it's Friday. Well, what does it matter to people who are self-employed? There's some days I'll look and I have no idea what day it is.
Yeah, let me tell you, some days Friday comes and I say, damn, now the damn weekend. I can't, work on all these great projects I have.
Oh, I go ahead and work on them.
Yeah, I know. I believe me, I fight tooth and nail for every bit of time to do it myself.
Right.
Well, look, I had a chance to look at your site. You got a lot of things going.
I've been busy, I've been prolific, but I've just been having fun. That's really all I've been doing. I get excited about a project, I pursue it, I write it, I get it done, and I go on to the next thing.
Exactly.
Basically a roller coaster ride with a lot of thrills and spills.
When you had emailed me back and you said, well, what are we going to talk about? And I did have to think about, we could talk about so many different things, obviously, and we only have so much time. Right. And I did think, and I look at what my customers are looking for, or what people who visit the site are asking for, and I think copywriting, and I know you have a great love for copywriting, and you've done a lot of research, because I've listened to some of your stuff, and I've also seen a video, and I know you're a real student of the old
That's right.
old writings, and
old masters.
And I think that's great. I think maybe we can stick to that subject, and as far as the format of our talk today, the whole concept of my site is I want to leave for anyone who wants information on copywriting, direct marketing, business, how to make money, just some of the greatest information out there available.
Okay.
And we could sit and talk about, things that are already in your book, but I wanted to try and target my talks with people maybe a little more personal, because people want to see, well, how did Joe get to be where he is today? What are some of the reasons that led you there? Just kind of like your journey and your story. I think that's really interesting stuff, and I know a lot of the people who listen to this stuff like that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Because they can relate it to themselves. Well, if this is the steps Joe took to get to where he is, and I want to be like him, and write like him, and sell like him, and market like him, maybe if I follow these same steps, I can do it too.
Got it.
You see? Because they can go buy your books, and we'll certainly direct them to your website and all your different things. They can go, hear it all for themselves, right?
That's exactly right.
Okay. So tell me, where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Niles, Ohio.
Okay.
A Western boy. And I spent the first 20-some years up there, and I've been in Texas for the rest of the time, which is well over 20-some years.
Okay.
And I now live in the hill country outside of Austin, Texas, between Austin and San Antonio.
Right. How old are you?
I'm 48, be 49 in a couple months.
Okay. What were you like as a kid? Were you entrepreneurial?
No. I was very much interested in a wide variety of things, so much so that it was confusing because I didn't know what I would end up doing. I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to be an attorney. I wanted to be a magician. I wanted to be a detective. I wanted to be a reporter. I wanted to be a baseball player. And I went through various cycles where I very sincerely pursued each one of those. And I'm talking about as a kid, not as a young adult.
Right.
And I stumbled across writing at one point, and something shifted within me that said, you can be all of these different roles that you would like to be if you are a writer, meaning that I could write fictional-type works or plays or even nonfiction books coming from all those different perspectives.
How old were you?
I was probably 14, 15, 16 years old. And I met Rod Serling, the creator of Twilight Zone, when I was 16.
Okay.
And that was a turning point for me because I had idolized him for a very long time. I was a big fan of Twilight Zone. It was one of the reasons that I wanted to become a writer. But when I met him, it was a tremendous disappointment because he was human.
Right.
I expected him to be superhuman. I expected him to show up on the stage that he was speaking at in Youngstown, Ohio, and just appear in a puff of smoke. Well, there was a puff of smoke because he was a chain smoker, but he was a regular guy.
Yeah.
And I remember asking him if he was going to write his autobiography. And he thought about it and said, no, nothing's really happened to me. And I thought, here is this superstar in television, this famous script writer, making all kind of great money, bringing out people to hear him speak, and he hadn't thought he accomplished anything. He had self-esteem issues. He was just a little run of a guy. He was afraid of a lot of different things. So anyway, it was an inspiration to meet him, and because of the disappointment of seeing that he's human, I realized if he can do it, I can do it.
Absolutely. I'm the same. Yeah, I'm the same way. Once you can meet someone and really kind of feel him out, and you have an image in your head that, you know, he's a guru or he's that. But the bottom line is, you know, you're a man just like any other man. You got the same problems. Your wife probably nags on you for leaving your underwear on the floor or not picking up your towel, and you know, we all have the same problems.
Yes.
Okay, so that was an inspiration in a way because you realized if he can do it, you can do it, and that gave you confidence.
Absolutely. It was a turning point for me. I began to more wholeheartedly pursue the career of being a writer. And I really went after it with an intensity and a gusto that even humbles me today when I look back on it.
And what were you doing?
I remember as a kid walking 1.5 miles, which isn't that big of a deal, but I would do it in the cold of the winter as well as in the summer, to go to the downtown library in Niles, Ohio, which was a famous library because William McKinley, our 25th president, was born in Niles, and they've got a big museum there at the library for him.
Okay.
And I would walk to that library, and there were entire sections that I would go through book by book, reading those books, studying those books, and I still have a visual in my mind of sitting at a table at the library with all these books all over the place, with all these books opened up at different spots, with me having a notebook open, and me writing out thoughts, passages, exercises, whatever it was that I was coming across. I was doing such intense work that it's amazing that I was such a poor student in school itself. And so in the regular school, you know, the public school, I wasn't doing very well at all because it didn't appeal to me. It didn't excite me.
Right.
It wasn't speaking to my passions, to my heart interests.
What did your parents do?
My father worked on the railroad all of his life for 30, 40 years. And I mean as a laborer on the railroad.
Did that influence you?
Yes, it definitely did. He had me working on the railroad when I was 5 years old.
Really?
I was 5 years old. He took me out, put me on the railroad tracks when he went out on jobs, put a pitchfork in my hand and taught me how to tamp ties, which is a very laborious type thing to do. And I did that for most of my life until I left Ohio in 78 or 79.
Hi, it's Michael Senoff with HardToFindSeminars.com. Thanks for watching this video. You know, many of my interviews last 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, sometimes even up to 2.5 hours long. They're actual mini seminars, and you've just listened to a short sample of just one of over 117 hours of exciting, hard-hitting, mind-blowing interviews on how to make money in direct mail, advertising, copywriting. I assure you, there is not a resource anywhere on the internet or on the planet that comes close to the free information I provide at HardToFindSeminars.com. So go right now to HardToFindSeminars.com and you'll have free access to 117 hours of audio interviews with typed word-for-word downloadable transcripts and downloadable MP3 files. Please browse some more of the videos or go right directly to HardToFindSeminars.com. Thanks for watching.